Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Good Saturday afternoon, Dallas-Fort Worth. We're just have a jam-packed show today. We're going to be talking about everything from Dallas as a hotbed for film and TV shows to cruising. If you haven't thought about taking a cruise, we're going to learn all about that and some great deals. We're also going to learn more about Texas Longhorn legend Darrell Royal. There's a new movie coming out and a book that you're going to learn more about. But we're going to start with a topic that's near and dear to my heart. It's excellence. My first guest is Jojy Koshy. He is the president and CEO of Atrium Fine Homes, and he's a big believer in excellence. We were visiting off the air. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff.
So talk to me about, you really build high-end homes, and it's almost, I got a tour of one of them about a year or so ago. It felt like Robin Leach's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
We're really blessed in what we do. Our clientele is probably in that top 2-3% of the nation, and they were blessed to be able to build homes that are million or multi-million, and so they have strived to the top. They have scrubbed from all the aspects of what not to do, and so when they demand the best. And so we work in an industry that's very demanding, where excellence is not an option, it's a must do.
Absolutely.
And so when we get with a project or meet with a client, it's always the fundamentals or what we believe to be our core values in our business, which also spills into our personal life and in all that we do. And integrity is really, for me, the first part of excellence, doing what is right even when no one is watching. And
where did that come from? Is that mom and dad, or where did the drive for excellence come from?
Integrity is, to me, it is a core value that I've been raised with. Because even when growing up, my parents, they migrated to America when I was 6 years old. And so, both of them didn't finish college. Both of them worked hard. Both of them strived to make sure that what they did not get in life, that they would pass on to both of their children, myself and my sister, who's 4 years older to me. And so, for them, it's always something that was instilled even beyond my parents from my grandfather, who owned a lot of land in India, but he didn't necessarily have a lot of money. So he had great assets, but didn't have liquidity. And having, I believe, 8 kids, it was a struggle for him to be able to provide the basic necessities and all. So he would be selling off one parcel of land to another and other means in which he would be able to provide for his family. And so he would always pass on, regardless of whether I provide or not, to do what is right, even when no one is watching, is a value that he passed on to my dad, who then passed that on to me.
And you have a newborn?
Yes, 9 months old. We're blessed with a son.
And you hope to pass that on to your son as well?
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll talk about the beginnings of your career in home building. How did it start?
So I would say in the timing that we started in 2006, we were, the industry was at a high, things were looking good, everyone is positive and optimistic. And so really when the market is good, the good, the bad, and not so good, they all make and survive.
Right.
But in the 2008, 9, and 10, when the market turned bad, we saw a huge amount of builders that were established for decades, kind of vanish, either because of various issues. But what we found to be true is, if we did what is right, going back to integrity, if we provided a client what we said we would do, if we provided value, and if it was truly unique, the client received what they were expecting. And so, being excellent in those years in a recession really allowed us to climb to the top. And D Magazine and other publications were able to note us, and we were on the best builders list and other things in a short period of time. So
my guest again right now on the Jeff Crilley Show, Jojy Koshy. He is the president and CEO of Atrium Fine Homes. That's atriumfinehomes.com. So talk about the detail, the attention to detail, because when I was taking a tour of one of these fabulous homes that you're building, you were pointing out little things that, unless you were, standing very close to it, you might not even see it. But for you, those fine details are really what separates you from many other builders. Am I right?
Exactly right. When a client comes to us, they come to us for our expertise. And every home we build is a prototype, never been built before. And so it's not like a home that they could visually walk through, touch, and feel the details and provide exact specifications. So it's our job to do a lot of extraction of information. What I mean by that is asking a lot of questions in the discovery stage with the clients. And we try to work very closely with the architect and the designer. And so there's three components to building that beautiful home. It's the builder, but the builder is kind of on the back end of things. It's really starting with the concept, the schematics. And so that really works with the architect. And if the architect doesn't ask enough questions, then we miss out on details. And then we, the builder, get stuck with, hey, why was this missed, or why didn't the architect do that? So what our approach is a little different in terms of making sure we're comprehensively looking at the project. We go and work with the architect, sit in those meetings ahead of time. We ask a lot of questions to the client ahead of time. And we will work also closely with the design studio, working through the details of the drawings, making sure various, whether it's the size of windows, the size of, or the ceiling height plates, the details, whatever it may be, making sure that what the client wants on the final product is also shown in terms of discovery in the up front.
You said earlier in the interview that integrity and character is, how do you act when you think no one else is listening? And I can hear your son in the background. He's cooing with approval of Dad on the radio. So, let's talk about that. There are probably times when you could save a couple bucks here and there by, who's going to know? We'll just substitute this wood for this wood. But you never do that.
I would say that there's been years in our business where we didn't meet the expected revenue or the expected profitability. And part of that is because we had to make sure that we did right with the clients. And so what that means is there was times in which a client expected something, and whether it's in our cost budgets or other things, the specs, it was not in there. But if I had committed to something, I want to stand behind that product. We're looking to build these homes not for a 20, 30, 40-year product. We're looking to make sure that these homes will outlast the owners themselves. And so, or pass that on, just like the Rolex watch. It's really something that's timeless, that could be passed on. Obviously, in home ownership, there's maintenance required. But outside of that, we wanted to make sure our homes are built to last. So every home has a certain level of core, setup, so that we can make sure that we're able to provide a long-lasting home that's durable, that's functional, and so forth.
And in the long run, it leads to more business, does it not? Don't your customers refer other customers to you?
We've had clients that have built with us where they were both brothers, and one was in the process, and they were working with another builder, and then when we got started, worked with them in the upfront stage, made a lot of changes to the plans and made the budgets to what the clients needed it to be. So during that process, they were able to see our capacity and capability there. And so, yes, they passed on our information to other clients, which were our other clients, which were their other family members or friends or peers.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
My phone number, 214-734-5659. I always believe, there's nothing better than a conversation.
Beautiful.
Text messages are great, website intro and all that's fine, but we're building something that takes a lot of communication.
You know what you're building? You're building an excellent reputation. Thank you so much for being on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, Dallas has gained an international reputation as a great place to shoot movies, TV shows, and commercials. A woman who is helping DFW build that reputation, just ahead on the Jeff Crilley Show.
You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.